Welcome to this ESP thinking tutorial where we show you how to create records for individuals on your secure ESP database. So if we start by clicking the Setup button, we can then access the tools we need by clicking the yellow Individual button. This page allows us to enter records either one at a time or using a bulk CSV method. So if we look at the bulk method first, here we see our list of empty fields. In order to fill these, we must first retrieve the file we need from our OneDrive directory. Clicking the button opens our OneDrive connection, and we are then transferred to our file retrieval page. The left-hand column on this page shows us all of the different file types that can be retrieved. And on the right are all of the various pages responsible for processing these files. In this case, we're going to start off with the individual CSV file. Clicking this will give us a list of all of the CSV files that are available in our OneDrive directory. So if we then select the file we need, we can then click the download button to put this file on our device. At this stage, we can also add the photos that are associated with these individuals. And the quickest way of doing this is if they are all saved together in a single zip directory. We will need to have saved our zip files in our OneDrive directory, and if we then click on the Photo Zip File button here at the top, then we will see the name of our zip file here, which we can then click to download. As these are typically quite big files, they can take a little while to download. Once it is complete though, we can click our Load to Individuals page, and here we can see all of our information displayed in the various fields. If we take a look at the Excel file that was used to generate this, we can see both the information and the format of the file that we used. In the first two columns we have our forename and surname, then our date of birth. We also have other information such as the gender of the individuals and their individual ID numbers. We haven't had to do any other formatting to this file apart from converting it to CSV, and the reason for this is that we are able to change the column that the information is read from by altering the letters in the left hand column of our screen here. So we can change this column to G for the gender. This one, which is for the ID number, we can change to H, and then finally we can enter the same one at the top. So what we've done here is in the zip file we have all of the pictures of the students, and the file names of each of these images is actually the ID number of the individuals. So in this case, the system will look for a file name with this number followed by either a JPEG, TIFF or PNG file suffix. So having made sure that all of our fields are correctly identified, we can then, from our first drop box, select whether we are entering student or teacher data, and then from our second drop box here, we can select the correct date format that corresponds to the data entered in our spreadsheet. Now this is done, all we have to do is click the Upload to Database button, and all of our records will be securely loaded to the database along with all of the images in our zip file. It's also important to note that all of the files are then deleted so that the data only exists on the secure database. Now in this first example we uploaded both data and pictures at the same time. However, both sets of data are not always available at the same time, and so it is also possible to upload the zip file on its own. The first part of the method to carry this out is exactly the same. Go to the File Import page, click on Photo Zip File, and click the button to download the file to your device. This time though, when you click the Load to Individuals button, the system recognizes that you don't have a text file along with it and directs you to a different page. Here you have three options for the file name to select from. It can either be the forename surname, surname forename, or the ID number as we use this time. Then click on Load to Database and your images are loaded up. One technical piece of information is actually revealed by these messages here, and that is that the system will not create records without a forename and surname. In this case, the system has been trying to add the pictures to existing records with the given ID numbers. As these numbers are not already on the system, then it hasn't been able to add the pictures. So having seen how we can enter these records in bulk, we're now going to see how we can enter them one at a time. So if we click on the single entry button here at the top, we can see all of the fields where we can manually enter the information we need. We can also search and edit existing records by clicking on here and entering the user's name in the box at the top here. Once we've found our user's name, we click on the View button and all of their details are shown in the fields, which we are then free to edit and then save. We also have two mechanisms for adding images to these records. The first is by using the device's own camera, although you must make sure that you have the necessary permissions in order to do this. The second mechanism, though, is to download images from your OneDrive directory without the use of a zip file. We will look at how this is done in just a moment, but if we click on this button here, we will see how these images are stored in a temporary directory on your device, which can be scrolled through, select your image and click Assign here. We can then save the changes that we've made to this record. We can now finally take a quick look at how we put these individual pictures onto the device. We have already seen how we can access the file retrieval page through this individual button here, but we can also go straight to it by clicking the import button. So here we have our file download page, and if we look at the bottom here we can see a button marked individual photos. Clicking on this will give us a list of all of the images stored in our OneDrive file. We can then select the file we want to download, click the button here, and the file is saved to our device. It is important to note though that as an additional safety precaution, these images are wiped from the device when the application is next closed down. You must therefore assign them to the database in order to save them securely. So there we have it, individual records and the ESP database. Thanks for watching.